What's up? So, got the Elantra again, but I've been doing a lot more work on it. I didn't feel like I needed to make a video on tearing this down. This is not really an educational video. These are more for like entertainment and stuff, and a little bit of education, I guess. But yeah, I've torn this whole down. I took the whole head out of it. I found out that I had a serious blow-by. So I was like, probably time to replace the pistons and everything, and that gave me a chance to take all this out and clean everything up. I took the old AC compressor out as well, so you see me putting the new one in, I guess, sort of. I bought new belts for everything, bought a new timing belt, new timing chain that's on the other side of the head. First, we're going to go ahead and clean all this out, this engine bay, because I mean, it's it's pretty gross. So gonna clean all that out first, then I'm gonna put the new AC compressor in there because it's a lot easier to put that in there with everything out of the way. Then just start throwing shit together, and I'll kind of walk you through how I'm doing that. Alright, so we got the new AC compressor. Just got to take these off with Allen key. These are little plugs for the inlet and outlet of the Freon. You just take these off. You're supposed to replace these O-rings here, but this did not come with any, and I didn't think about that. It's been my experience that usually if an O-ring is green, it means that it can be reused. So we're just going to reuse them. Alright, so we got the new one installed. There's 12 millimeter bolts. There's 2 on the top and then 2 on the bottom. The 2 on the top are the longer of the 2 bolts. I checked the spec and it says anywhere from 14.8 to 18.1 foot-pounds on these, since it's going into the block. These 2 right here, I just kind of snugged them down since, you know, that's not as big of a deal as, you know, snapping your block. Putting a crack in that. You don't want to put a crack in that. So anyway, yeah, I went ahead and just put these down to 16. Just, you know, I like to meet in the middle. So anyway, that's on. These are the old hoses that went on. Not hooking that up yet, or the belt. So we'll just find out if it works later. Now we're going to take the main bearings out of the bottom here, off of the crankshaft from underneath, and put new ones on there. And then there's like some spacer bearings that got to go in there as well. Alright, so what we got here is our main bearing caps. This is what holds in, well, part of what holds in your crankshaft. This is what the crankshaft slides along. These are your main bearings. So these are your lower main bearings, and these are your upper main bearings. Your upper main bearings have this like canal, little divot thing, whatever, in there that allows oil to slip in through there. Whenever you're putting these in, you want to put fresh oil on them, but they sit inside here. Your lower bearings would go in here, upper bearings would go up against well, on top of this. I'll show you how those go in. When you're putting these in, they've got arrows here that tell you which direction that they need to be facing in. So just remember that. And these ones, they need to be facing that way. So looking at the front of your car, they need to face left. So there you go for that. And oh, these are your thrust bearings. These go as a spacer, essentially, in between the middle of the crankshaft. And these are the bolts that hold these in. These are, I got them out with a 15, but I'm gonna go recheck. I don't know if they actually are a 15. If they aren't, I'll put it right up here what they actually are. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is take just like any kind of, you know, just any kind of engine oil that's clean, and put a little bit inside main bearing cap and then on the back of your main bearings, and they can only go in one way. If you can see, you get that notch there, it lines up with that notch. There's not one on this side, so you just line it up in there how it needs to go with that notch, and then you just push it down. Boom. Alright, so not the exact best angle, but it from straight under the car, you know, just sliding straight up. This is where you can see those gaps on the sides there. That is where your thruster bearings are going to be going, and they will be going in where you can see this piece on here that's got these like little notches. Those will face outwards from each other. So that means that the notches in it are going to face that way for this side, and for this one the opposite way over to the left. So yeah, so we're going to put some fluid on that, some lubricant, and then just shove them up in there. And yeah. Alright, so whenever you're trying to get your main bearings back up in there, it'll go in just as far as you can, and then you'll notice that you just can't get it in anymore. Well, there is a little hole right there in all of them except for the center one here. That one's just kind of a pain in the ass. But all these, they have something, you could put something like a screw or a bolt or something in there. Even a paper clip would probably work, but all you're trying to do is you put it in there, just twist the crankshaft, and it'll seat it up in there, and then we'll put our main bearing cap on. Alright, and that's basically what I'm talking about. You would just put something in there that's just going to grab onto it, twist the crankshaft until it seats in there, and then you just back it out a little bit, pull that piece out, and then we'll put our main bearing cap on. And we'll torque those down to 22 foot-pounds. Alright, as you can see, we got our main bearing caps back on. There's that arrow that I was talking about. They all need to be facing in the same direction. These are torqued down to 22 foot-pounds, and then you want to go 60 to 65 degrees on these. It's kind of hard to show what I'm talking about with that down here because there's not that much room. I will show you whenever I do the camshaft bearings up top. But yeah, just gonna put the pistons in and connect them, and then we'll put the oil pan back on. Alright, now up here, I know this looks disgusting, we'll get that all cleaned up. Now I cleaned out all these cylinders, and I'm going to hone them. Got the honing tool right there. You're going to want some kind of lubricant. I got PB Blaster. Yes, I know it's just called Blaster, but shut up. But anyway, we're going to spray that down in there. It'll be, you know, up and down motion, honing it, so we can get some cross hatching in there so that it will seat better and the oil will stay up on the cylinders better. Alright, so got them honed. I need to clean them up a little bit more. But yeah, got some cross hatching in there. They don't look the best, but this isn't, you know, this isn't a high performance automobile. Now, got this compressor for the rings. Put that on there, and then we're gonna drop this down inside and do that on all four of them. Bolt them down on the bottom to get them all assembled, and that might be all I'll do today. I'm not sure. I may put the oil pan on too. Alright, so we got our little piston rod bearings. These are all the same. They look exactly the same. So you just do the same thing. Lube up the rod, lube up your bearing, put it in there, then lube up this side of the bearing, and then we're going to slide it straight down in there. Alright, so if you can see, the shaft right there, that's what's going to be, the bearings are going to be, your pistons are going to be going over, the bearings are going to be touching those. So you want those all the way down. See, these ones are all the way up on these sides, so that means the middle ones are down, and you want them down whenever you're putting these in. And you pretty much just put this on here, push down as far as you can, then you can just get something like a rubber handle to a hammer and just kind of help it along in there. Boom. And then you just push it all the way down until it's seated against that. Then you can go down below and put the other cap on. All right, we got all 4 pistons seated. One thing I forgot to mention and do on this is always oil your cylinders when putting the pistons in. Basically just oil everything that metal's going to touch metal. Anyway. By the way, you'll just have to remember, like, take a picture if you're taking your car apart. These indentions are very important on where they are supposed to be. Yeah, we got our new bearings in these caps, and we're going to install them and put these little nuts on. Alright, so we got all of our rod bearing caps back on, and these nuts are going to be torqued down to 37 to 39 foot-pounds each. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did, is go on the inside and work my way out. I'm sure it doesn't matter, but yeah. Hey, what's up? It's the next day. It got a little too dark and I didn't get finished with everything. I forgot to record me getting the oil pan and the oil pickup tube on. Oil pickup tube, well, I can't show you now because the oil pan's on. But anyway, it looks like this. And you just have to buy some of this make your own gasket stuff, because I could not find a gasket just for that unless I bought some kit that it was included in, and it was like $30, and I wasn't going to do that. They do not make a gasket for the oil pan of this particular automobile. I don't know why. You just have to use high temp RTV. That's what I put on there. You don't want to go super heavy with it, but you also don't want to make like a really thin amount. Look up some videos that'll show you kind of ballpark about how much you need to put on there. But anyway, you put that on there. The bolts for the oil pickup tube are 11 to 16 foot-pounds, so I just went ahead and went with 13 or 15, something like that. And then all the bolts that hold the oil pan in are all like 7.3 to 8.8, so I just went with an even 8. I did snap one up, or pop something on one of them because I went a little too tight. So just know that you definitely do need to put them at about 8, because I did not feel the click in my torque wrench, and I went a little too far, and I was like, this feels a little more than 8, and something snapped. So yeah, just be mindful of that. And as you can see right there, we got our pan back on. There's all that RTV. I actually felt like I went on a little too thin, but I guess not, because it's pressing a lot out. We'll have to bolt this exhaust up to there real quick so that we can attach our exhaust manifold whenever we get to that point. Alright, so up here we're going to put our head gasket on, and then we're going to put the head on there. But before you do that, each one of these that are threaded to take bolts, that one, and that one, all 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them, all 10 of them, you want to blow out with compressed air to get all the debris, any oil or any moisture like coolant or anything that may have got in there. Get all that out of there. Then basically fill them with brake cleaner or something like that, and then blow them out again. And whenever you blow them out, put a rag over it whenever you're blowing it with the compressed air. Otherwise it's just going to go everywhere, and you want to do that basically so that whenever you tighten your bolts down on your head, you're not creating excess pressure inside of these and cracking your block, because you definitely do not want to do that. Alright, so here is our gasket. It is a multi-layer steel gasket. I don't even know if they make head gaskets out of anything other than this. I wouldn't suggest trying to find that. Usually they will say up and down on either side, or one side will be colored different. This one does not. Luckily, you can see these two right here, and that's the only way that this will match up. So this will go on, and then we will just drop the head down on it. And you want to be really careful dropping that on there, because these right here can scratch up the bottom side. I'm not super worried about it with as old and high mile car this is. I'm more just learning stuff on this one. And there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do on this, like there's a big flat piece of metal that you're supposed to gauge in a bunch of different ways to make sure this is flat, to see if you need to get it machined. I'm not going to do that because I don't think it's worth it to do it on this car. Now, if it was a newer car or something that had some oomph, some balls behind it, yeah, probably. But this is a 2005 Hyundai Elantra. I don't care. All right, so we have our head on. That was a pain. So now we have these little washer pieces that go into here, and you have two different head bolts. You got your long one and your short one. Your two long ones are going in over here, and then all the short ones go in all of these. Now, you're not supposed to reuse these bolts. You're supposed to use brand new ones every time you do it, but the threads look fine. I'm just going to reuse them. I don't care. Anyway, these bolts use a 10 millimeter Allen key, and they are all the small bolts are torqued down to 18 pounds, and then these two are torqued down to 22 pounds, and then you'll go 60 to 65 degrees, and there's like a cross star pattern thing to do this in. If I can find a picture, I'll just put it up here. If not, just look it up. But yeah, you're supposed to go in order. I gotta look that up right now, actually. And then, yeah, they're all 60 to 65 degrees, and I'll show you what I mean with that. Alright, so we already went over with the pass, torqued them all down to spec. These small bolts are all 8s, and that one is a 10. These two are a 10, by the way. So now we got to go over with one pass of 60 to 65 degrees. Now, this is just an analog tool. You can go out and buy one of those like torque wrench degree, what, I don't even know what they're called, but they're like 250 bucks, the ones that I was seeing. So I just bought this for $10. Basically, this little Allen key looking thing holds this in place, and then we are just going to dial that into 0, and then we'll turn it until it says 60 degrees, and then we'll do it in the same cross pattern, and then we'll go and do it one more time, because you got to do it twice. All right, we got all of them torqued down to spec. Then went through with a pass of 60 degrees, then went through with another pass of 60 degrees. My tool here, I was trying to do it, and it was just staying on 0. It was not working anymore for some reason. I don't know what the deal was, but in a pinch, it's not as accurate, but you can use a, what do you call it, a compass app. So if you have your compass app, if you put this in here, pull out your compass app on your phone, lay your phone directly on top of it, and then just torque it to whatever degrees you need to go to. Again, not as accurate, but it will work in a pinch, and that's what I had to do. Okay, now that we got all that in, we got our camshafts in, and we're gonna have to put these at top dead center. Now how you do that is on this one here, there's this notch, and it needs to be facing straight up. And on this one, I don't know if you can see that little dot right there, that needs to be facing straight up. And it's not, it don't fit, it don't set in there like that, but that's okay. We'll just we'll get the chain on there, get it about where it needs to be, and then start kind of putting the caps on here, and then it'll keep it in place. So yeah. All right, so I got the new timing chain on. Now, if you're using a new timing chain, it does not matter which direction you put it on. It can be this way, I could flip it around, put it on that way. If you're reusing your old one, you want that to be in the same direction you took it off in. It has to do with the wear on it or something. Anyway, so the way that you can tell how you had this on properly on both of these two is this is top dead center on here, and it needs to be facing straight up. And then you need to be 7 links away from top dead center on this one. Now each link means the outside links, not these inside ones, but these outside ones. So you go from this and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and boom, right there on that notch. That's how you can tell that it's properly spaced on that. And then we'll just start torquing all these down. Alright, one thing I did forget to say is that all of those bolts that go in, put a little bit of oil on them, engine oil. I forgot to do that, so oopsies. I'm not taking them back out though, so we're just going to deal with that. Alright, I've already put the gasket on for the intake manifold. To get this a little more out of the way, you can unhook this ground wire here and this little loom here. I just went and cut the damn thing off. I'll just throw a zip tie through that, but that allows you to kind of move it out of the way a little bit better to get that gasket in there. Then you've got 4 of these, what are they, 12mm bolts on top. You got 4 of them and then 5 on bottom, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1 over on the other side that you can reach, and then 1 down here that you can reach, and then the other 3 are up underneath the car. You'll have to do that, so have fun with that shit. Alright, so got the intake manifold on. Just gonna put the fuel rail in, and all of these just basically kind of slip in there like that. And then you'll take this piece that's got all the pigtails to connect them, put them on there, bolt it down with 2 bolts, and connect all of these. Got all that connected. Now we'll connect the knock sensor down here, the camshaft position sensor, and the AC compressor. Alright, so we got that all done. I had to get a little creative with the zip ties because this little pin that's supposed to be in here is not there anymore, so that was just coming in and out, so I had to get it all creative. But anyway, got that plugged in. Now we're going to work on getting all the cooling system hooked back up. Alright, so we got our thermostat housing on, we got our new thermostat and gasket and other side of the housing. I'm going to put that on. Alright, got the new thermostat and thermostat housing in. Now to reconnect all these coolant hoses. Alright, so we got our hoses from our radiator all the way to our head. We got this one going from to our thermostat housing. This one also going to our thermostat housing. This one going across there to our water pump. And now we're going to put the exhaust manifold / catalytic converter on. And that may be all we're doing today. Alright, so we got the exhaust manifold in. It says 430 to 550 foot-pounds on these. I don't know, that just doesn't seem right. So I think I'm just going to crank them down and give them hell. I gotta put the O2 sensor in here and then attach the exhaust to the cat and put the shroud on the front of this, and then we should be done for tonight. I have to buy another part, unfortunately. This is, well, the top piece is missing, but this is the tensioner for the timing chain, and I don't believe that it's supposed to just move that easily, have that much play. And then also, I've not seen anybody be able to just squish it like that. Usually people have to get a pair of pliers to squeeze that, so I'm just gonna buy a new one of these, and then we'll end up putting everything else together. But honestly, oh my god, there's grease all over. That's quite a lot of stuff that I got done today. Well, today and yesterday. But yeah, till next time.